He has been a thorn in England's side too many times to count, and now he's done it again. Uruguay's Luis Suarez scored not once, but twice in the club's match against England. The first goal came from a header in the 39th minute, and the second with a quick shot in the 75th minute. Uruguay wins 2-1, and England's chances of advancing have all but evaporated at this point. The other two clubs in the group, Costa Rica and Italy, kick off Friday. Earlier in the day, it was Colombia battling the Ivory Coast. In the 64th minute, Colombia's James Rodriguez put in a header. He and his team celebrated by breaking it out into a choreographed dance on the sideline. And just 6 minutes later, Juan Quintero would score. Colombia would hold on for a 2-1 victory over the Ivory Coast. Right now, Japan and Greece are in a scoreless tie. CCTV has live TV coverage of the World Cup. Joel Richards is live in Rio de Janeiro, but let's begin with Paulo Cabral, who joins us live from Sao Paulo. And English fans there must be a little bit bummed there, to say the least, Paulo.
Yes, look, I think the first thing to say about today is that it was a beautiful day in Sao Paulo with the fans of both Uruguay and England just going around town, you know, with their flags and jerseys and their faces painted. And, you know, this is a huge city, 12 million people, but still, these people managed to be noticed. And even though Uruguay is much closer to Brazil than England, we could see there was a reasonable balance, you know, of fans from one side and the other coming here to the arena Sao Paulo for this fantastic match. But then, of course, the English side left the arena much more disappointed, or absolutely disappointed, because they have little chance to stay in the tournament right now. On the other hand, we see Uruguayans partying until now here in Sao Paulo and in other parts of Brazil where these people came to. It's not been good actually for Europe these first days of the tournament. You know, of course, we still have Germany and Italy and the Dutch. You know, Holland has been doing very well. But if you look at from the other side, we had Spain that is already out of the tournament. It was one of the favorites before. England, of course, it's another powerhouse of world football and didn't do well. And Portugal is also having some problems. And, you know, there's just one last issue, because some European teams were worried about the weather here in a tropical country. Would it be too hot? It may be truth in Manaus, for example, where the English played their first game. But here in Sao Paulo today, we have about 15 degrees Celsius. That's about 55 Fahrenheit. So, yes, colder than London right now. The English could not complain about that, you know?
Well, Paulo, let's turn to the scene there in Sao Paulo. It was obviously a place where a lot of protests on the onset of the World Cup. What's been happening there lately?
Well, look, there are still some protests going on around the country in Sao Paulo and in other cities, but I think it's fair to say that the World Cup fever has really caught up with this country now. You know, love of football in Brazil is undeniable, but people are protesting because, well, they're not happy with their government and they're not happy with the way the World Cup was organized, with all the delays and all the expenses and all the problems and all, you know, and this still is the feeling. So it's just, to put it in the right way, people are not happy with the way the World Cup was organized. But now that the World Cup is here, they are enjoying it enormously. It's been very fun in Brazil, both for the tourists. I've been talking to some of foreign visitors here, and most of them say they look, there are some perks and transportation and strikes and all that, but all in all, people are happy. We don't see big protests happening, and after all, it's just, you know, football fun and football fever taking over this country for good.
And, you know, the stadiums look full. Paulo Cabral live in Sao Paulo. Thanks for that.